Hello, fellow traders. Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Tuesday, August the 15th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. Change for the better, part 2 with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. Walmal, I've been talking with the traders about change. In referencing that if you want to be a better trader or if you want to be better at anything, then you have to change. So, what's your take on that?
You're exactly right. I can sit here, and in my ivory tower, and in whatever it may be in life. It could be your marriage, it could be your relationship with whoever you have a relationship with. It can be anything, but the reality is, it is you that needs to change in order to make things better. And and what I mean by that is, I've done a lot of counseling in my life, and what I like to do is I draw a big circle on a piece of paper, plain piece of paper, and what I do is I ask the person who is being counseled, that is everything in the world that the person that you're having a relationship with can change and can go and do something about. How much of that can you change? And the answer is, they don't want to say this, but the answer is nothing. There's nothing you can change inside their circle. You can only change things inside your circle. And, it reminds me of the famous, Albert Einstein definition of insanity, which is, doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And if you want to have some type of change, let's say your trading is just not going as well as it should be, well, then something has to change, and that change, more times than not, it's got nothing to do with methodology. It's got nothing to do with how, what the method is that you use to trade. And usually, now it's not always true, but usually 99.99% of the time, what it comes down to is changing the way you go and do things in the market with your method. In other words, are you disciplined enough to really truly execute what the method says to go and do? Are you disciplined enough to go and enter on every time you're supposed to enter? Are you disciplined enough not to enter because of, because you get caught up in like, oh, look at that price, it's rocketing to the moon, I should be on that. You know what? I'm getting on that rocket. Next thing you know, it goes and crashes on you because it's expended all the energy that it has. And now be transparent here. Kiara, you just saw me do this. I was, in a trade, and I had my money, and what did I do?
Well, the money was available. You didn't have it.
Yeah, the money was there. I mean, I reached what I thought the trade was going to go and produce, and I got, and I got greedy. And because I saw a big momentum candle, and I said, okay, got a big momentum candle here. Okay, I'm going to get more. And instead of just going and maybe taking half off the table, or taking it all off the table, I let it go against me. Next thing you know, I was down, good 5 pips or so. Maybe even more than that. I don't recall exactly, but it was a big chunk of change that all of a sudden now I was down. And why is that? Because I didn't follow my trading plan. Now I got out of it, but I had to go and do some work to get out of it. I had to wait for another signal, and when I got another signal, I went in again at a quote unquote a better price, and then I was able to get out with a nice little profit. Because guess what? It did actually go right back to where I should have gotten out in the first place, and then of course it rocketed back up again. But my point being is that I I made a fatal decision.
Well, it wasn't fatal. You're still in the game.
Right. Fatal for that trade, but not fatal for the game. Right. Exactly. So I was in a situation where Now the next thing you know, I was, and TR, you can go and attest this. What was I saying? So, oh shoot, look at this. I messed that one up. you know, if I want to go colloquial on you, you greedy SOB. Because that's exactly what happened. I just got greedy, and we all do that. So what do we do to prevent that? And that's the question that every trader has got to go and answer. What do we do to prevent that? And and what I'm going to do is I'm going to remember this trade, and hopefully the next time I don't do the same thing. I went into the trade, and I said this last week on a video, and I said, when you're getting in a trade, you should know, where you're going to get out, whether it's for a loss or whether it's for a win. You should have an expectation of what you're going to do. And I had an expectation where I was going to allow this to run to. I was willing to go and let this run all the way up to the 25 if I had to, taking a really pretty bad, loss, but I still would have ended the day positive. I wouldn't have had my core for the day, but I still would have been positive. And I had an expectation where I was going to let it go in the other direction, and what did I do? I ignored my rules, and so what do I have to do? I have to go and say, hey, that's something I need to watch. So next time I go in a trade, I write these numbers down, and I also go and put them into the chart, and what I need to do is I need to go and be very, very firm about that. What I did here, what got me into trouble was, and I broke one of my rules. I moved my target price. I moved it out of the way of being hit, and should never ever have done that.
But that's hindsight. You've done it and been
Oh,
profitable.
absolutely, it's hindsight. I could have been really happy that I moved my target price, right? But the thing is, what I've learned over the years is that more times than not, I'm unhappy with what doing that. Therefore, don't do it. And it may be that it seems that way too. I mean, it may turn out that I'm actually more profitable by moving it the target price. But the problem is, the self-flagellation, I can never say that word, the self-abuse that you do, because of it, when you do take that loss on that is just not worth it because it messes with my psychology, and I know it, so don't do it.
Right.
So that's my 2 cents on ongoing on change. It's just the reality is there are things that you can change, there are things that you can't change, and if you're not being profitable, then you need to start seriously looking at why am I not profitable. And I used to say this on these videos probably going back 2 years ago, and that is that every method is not good for every trader. When I trade, works for me, but it may not work for another trader because of, discipline, personality types, all different types of things like that. So it may very well be that, you need to go and potentially go and look at a different method. Now, here's the warning. You don't go and trade for 1 day or even 1 week or maybe even 1 month and say, this method doesn't work for me. Because I'm telling you, it's going to take you more than a month to even get a method under your belt to fully be able to go and trade it well. So don't, when I say you may want to go and change your method, I'm not saying that every day you're changing the method because it's not working for you. You don't know if it's working for you or not because you don't even know if you're trading it properly yet. So, think long and hard before you change method. But if you've been trading the same method for, let's say, a year, and it's just not working out for you, well, maybe it is time to go and change that method. Just a thought. And then here's the flip side of the coin. You're talking about change. There's just another thing too. If it is working for you, whatever method, I don't care what method you're using. I don't care what your trading plan is. I don't care what your risk management is. But if it is working for you and it's been working for you long term, why would you consider changing? Just do it. Just keep on doing it. It may get boring, but so what? Here's a reality check. Go and do it and make some money, and and then go outside, turn off your computer, go outside and do something that's even more fun than sitting here trading.
Yeah. Well, you know, Walmal, people have been watching us on these videos for a couple of years now, and so they would probably say, "Well, hey, Walmal, you've kind of changed your method up a few times."
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And what I did was the change that I was doing was I was reacting to the market. And I think I talked about this in a previous video, but a week or two ago. But yeah, what I did was I didn't make a radical change as much as I was, starting to see that the pound was moving very much differently than it had in the past. And so what did I do? I went and modified what I was doing, to go and match what the market's doing. And here's the thing, the rule that didn't get changed, okay, and that is this. I'm a line trader, okay? What I mean by that is I draw horizontal lines on my screen, whether it's through an indicator or me going and physically drawing the line on the screen, and I go and I trade away from that line, okay? And that's my method. When you really get down to my method, I don't care if you're using the Walmal method, I don't care if you're using, flip-flop boxes or high-low boxes or anything else. What I'm doing is I'm trading away from a line. And that's my real, if you were to ask me what my method is, I trade away from lines. That's what I do. I trade away from lines and go and try to pick up a small amount of pips, trading away from the line. And every one of those methods that I just mentioned, that's exactly what you're doing. Now, what may change is like, on a Walmal method, you may be looking to get more pips on a particular trade than you would on a flip-flop box. Not that you can't make big pips on flip-flop box, because you certainly can. But for me and the way I trade, I'm trading, some of those swing trades out there say I'm getting lucky because I'm just trading noise. Well, call it luck, call it whatever you want to call it. But the reality is what I'm doing is I'm trading travel away from a particular line, and I know it's going to come back. So for me, that what you're calling noise is market movement, and so so have I changed? Yeah, I've changed. But at the same time, what I've done is I've really stuck to my root, and what I mean by that is I'm still true to who I'm trading and what I'm trying to trade. I haven't gone from, let's say, sitting there going from a method of trading off of a line to going and doing swing trading or going and doing order block trading or imbalance trading. Have I looked at those things? Absolutely. Curiosity, and can that stuff even help you when you're line trading? Oh, yeah, it absolutely can. And that's not my method. Hopefully I answered your question there.
Yeah, you did. Like I said, it was more, I was thinking of the traders out there that have been watching. They've seen you change up a few things. Like
Yeah, and
you go ahead.
go ahead. I was just going to say, yeah, over time, you hopefully you hone in your skills, and that's what I'm trying to do, which is I'm trying to always get better. But I'm not trading. I'm not changing what's the core and it's essential to the method itself.
Well, is there anything else? We've only got a little bit of time. Anything else you've changed over the years that made you better trader?
Um, I've gotten a lot more strict with my money management, and that's probably, I used to say this a lot on these videos. I haven't said it in a long time, and that is to me, the most important thing in trading is your money management. To the point which you can go and have, I truly believe you can have a methodology that actually does not work, but if you have really good money management, you can come and break even, or maybe just a slight loss or a slight win. And that's the most important thing. Get your money management under control. Understand what you're willing to lose, which is risk management. Understand how you're going to get, how you go back off of that a little bit. Understand exactly what you're looking for on a particular trade, on a particular method, in terms of both your win and your loss, and then go back and look at it. And don't back, I'm very, very much anti, back.
Walmal, we're gonna run out of time.
Time.
It's not what you trade, traders. It's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.